welcome back. This is Taco Salad 223, and today we're going to learn how to do prospector mining, specifically mining quantainium. Prospector mining is going to be the same whether you're doing quantainium or anything else that comes in a large rock variety, and we'll talk about that throughout our time. But first thing we need to do would be to acquire a prospector. Now if you're trying to do quantainium mining, you got two options. You either need to spend the slightly more than 2 million credits on a prospector, because you do need to have the ability to upgrade it, or you need to have a friend that has an upgraded prospector, and then you can go ahead and rent one, and they can help you get the money in order to purchase one yourself. So to purchase one, we are here in Lorville, and this is right inside where right inside the spaceport where you can pull out your ship, store your ship. So if you fly on down here, you can find New Deal. And if we run up inside a New Deal over here, you will notice that there's a prospector sitting over there on display. Nice and easy. This is one of the easiest ship shops to get to, and this is the only place where you can purchase your prospector, to my knowledge. Now you could come over here and click on it this way and purchase it, or you can go to this terminal right here, which happens to be the only terminal, and you can go, it is made by MISC, and you can scroll on through here and find your prospector right there and purchase one. Now I've already purchased one, so I'm not going to grab another one, but I would like to point out that if you look through here, you can find the rock that we used in the previous mining tutorial. You can purchase that rock here, and it's not very expensive, but it's also really cheap to rent, so it kind of just depends on you what you decide to do. So once we get that, you need to go and get to the things to upgrade it. Now I'm gonna cut out all of the travel time and everything else, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull out a different ship, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to the refinery station on Arc L1, and there we should be able to buy everything we need to upgrade our ship for the purpose of quantainium mining. These upgrades are pretty simple. I know I haven't done a video on upgrading ships yet, so we're just gonna gently go through what we need for the prospector specifically, and I will do a proper full video on upgrading ships at a later time. So we'll be back here shortly. And now I've arrived to the refinery station on Arc L1. Just to pull up the map so everybody can see. There's our little plus right there. There's Arc L1, and we're in Wide Forest Station. Now you could do this at any, not any, but a lot other places, because we're here to buy parts at the moment to upgrade our prospector. However, not all refinery stations or places in general are going to have what you're looking for, and the easiest way to figure that out is going to be Urkel.games. It's a nice ship configurator, and it's very useful. If I remember, I'll put the link in the description for us. But I know what I need, they have here, and this is where I'm going to be, this is going to be my refinery during our mining expedition. So I figured I'd go ahead and start here. Now you guys should recognize this if you watched the rock mining tutorial. This is the refinery floor in the station. So we're going to go ahead and go to the mining support store, and we're going to be buying the required items. So just to talk through a couple of these real quick, so some of these modules are very useful for quantainium mining but not required. The Brant module, for example, increases stability. I know the Stampede module is going to give you a little bit of extra power, and there's another one that I don't remember what it's called, but I don't think they sell it here. But what it does is it automatically gives you 40% heat. So it gets you real close to being able to crack your rock faster is all. But what we are here to buy is the Lancet MH1 mining laser. It's not very expensive. Go ahead and pick this guy up. And the reason we need this particular mining laser for quantainium mining is because if we don't have it, our rocks are just going to be too unstable. And they're going to blow up in our face. We'll see that in a little bit. And that's all we need. If you wanted to rent a prospector because you got a buddy that's already upgraded, you can rent one here. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but you can pay it off real quick and make it worth its money. You got a buddy that's going to help you get some funds going. And we are going to do a group mining tutorial bit right at the end of this video so that you guys can see what that looks like. So now that we've purchased our mining laser, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click our F1 menu. And looking down at these tabs down here, we can see there's a vehicle loadout menu. We're going to click on that. We're going to give it a second to load because it gets mad at us when we start clicking on stuff. And we're going to come on over here and we're going to select the prospector. And give it a second. It loaded in the prospector and we can see all the normal stuff we can swap. You got paint. I don't have any paint. You got weapons. And then you have utility. So under utility, we can see that currently we have an arbor mining laser, and we're going to go ahead, we're going to select the one that we want to install, and it's going to change it over. You'll also notice we got sub-item slots. In the sub-item slots where you would put, for example, that Brant module we just looked at, and they alter what your mining laser is going to do. Now most of these are consumables, so you'll get like a couple different uses out of those, and then they're gone forever, which is why I'm not going to use them right now. But when you're out and about by yourself, they can be the difference between breaking a rock or not breaking a rock. They are kind of nice to have. So now you'll notice we got the little caution icon and it says changes pending down here. We're just going to save and equip. And now the Lancet mining laser is the one that we have installed.
Anything you like?
Now we just need to go pull out our mining ship and come back once we pull it out. And we're back. This here is our MISC prospector. And it's jumping around on us, of course. You can see it's got some storage containers on the sides. It does have some weapons on it, although my brain for the life of me is not telling me where those weapons are. Well, you're not going to shoot at anything with this. Oh, there they are, right there. Look, they're so small and cute. Then we can see our fancy mining laser we installed. And when you install those fancy add-ons that we were talking about, like a Brant module, they do actually get installed in our visual. It's really nice. Just a kind of a side thing. It's not important, but it looks cool. So we're gonna go ahead and get into our ship. Hold F and click like normal. And we'll wait to get up in there. Here's the inside of our prospector. You can see we got a bed. We got different compartments that will probably open one day. Then we got the mining seat. Go ahead, we'll hop up in this seat. And I'm gonna go ahead and get it powered on with R. And go ahead and call tower real quick. While all that's going on, let's talk about where we're going to be mining. So my preferred quantainium mining location is Lyria. The reason I like Lyria is because if there's more than one rock, it is guaranteed to be quantainium rocks, which is great. So we set that as our target, and now we just gotta get there. Normal quantainium, or normal quantum stuff, not a big deal. Set the target, fly there. And we have arrived at Lyria. So wherever we go on Lyria, it doesn't actually really matter where you go, but my strong recommendation is stay on the sunny side of the planet. For one reason for it is because the refinery station is always going to be above you if you're on the sunny side, so when you go to fly back it'll be easier. And two, just being able to see makes a big difference. So I'm just going to kind of look around at all of our markers. And Teddy's Playhouse right there looks like it's going to be on the sunny side, so I'm just going to quantum that direction. And we have arrived. So, one thing to note. Quantainium is more likely to spawn around mountains. We can see up here that we got some mountains in that direction. Generally, I would stay in that direction. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be scanning using the tab button. Now, I can pop off a scan right here, and it'll show us there's a bunch of stuff. And what I like to do when I quantum into a place is hold F and zoom in on all those different scans, because if they're rocks, a lot of times you can see them before you even get close. And that way, if there's a good rock right underneath you, or multiple rocks that you can see right off the bat, you can fly there and save yourself a bunch of time. Checking these real quick. Because overall we are looking for multiple rocks. It just increases the odds of you finding something. But I don't see any multiple rocks anywhere. So now we're going to start flying around looking for rocks. Not a big deal. My recommendation would be to click your period button to decrease the scanning angle of your laser and fly down a little ways. Definitely increase your speed limiter a little bit so that we're not sitting still, and basically get right below the cloud layer so you can actually see what you're looking at. Then you can zoom in and look while you're flying at anything that pings, looking for multiple rocks. Now, you don't have to go to multiple rocks. It just is a surefire sign that you found quantainium. And I personally, like I said, right below this cloud layer, and I like to just cruise. And any rocks that are mineable are going to be visible from a far distance, whereas the pretty rocks, like all of those down there, spawn in as you get close enough to them. So you'll always be able to see your mineable rocks out in the distance. I was diving a little bit there. That's not very safe. Those were gems. See anything over there? That is a singular rock. And we just keep flying along nice and slow and scanning until we find ourselves what we're looking for. And we found some rocks. They almost hid from us. So now, in order to see if these rocks are any good, because there is such thing as bad rocks now, if we click M, we can pull out our mining laser. And we got to get close enough that it'll scan. You can see the scan results on the right side. Get nice and close till we can see the composition. We can see that this rock only has 2% quantainium in it, so that ain't a good rock for us. So, scan this guy. And again, we only got 2% quantainium, so we gotta keep looking. But you'll see, notice the marbling in the rocks. That is what a quantainium rock looks like on Lyria. They will always look just like that. So it's pretty easy to pick them out at a distance if you need to. And because those were both bad rocks, we're gonna keep on flying. We'll find a good rock. And there appears to be 2 more over here. Come check out these 2. Get our mining laser out.
Mining mode on.
And we can tell by the instability that this rock isn't gonna be good. Your instability will be higher and your optimal range will be smaller. So just even getting close to it, I knew before we even got told what it was, whether or not it had a lot of quantainium. See how this one looks. That one too, optimal range is too large, and again we only got 3% quantainium. Gotta keep looking.
Mining mode off.
That looks like a couple rocks over there. You can see when I zoom in, there's at least 3 rocks right there. It's another good patch. Oh, just gotta get my ship pointing the right direction here. Flying the prospector's kind of like flying a loaf of bread. Gotta take it easy and go slow. But as we get closer, all the rocks will identify. And a patch of 4 definitely ain't a bad patch of rocks. See if we got anything we can mine here. We also have to pay attention to the mass of the rocks when we're out here doing this. Because this 5,000 mass rock right there, 5,342, I might not be able to even break that rock if it's quantainium. So we have to find generally medium-sized rocks. That's going to be the only ones we can mine. Again, resistance was and instability was kind of low, and the optimal range was too high. We can see that pattern for every rock that we scan. Still low. And that's also going to be low. So that's a whole patch of rocks that ain't worth our time. So we're going to keep looking. Doing our best not to check over the same area twice.
Mining mode off.
And just generally looking around for rocks. Now that we've seen some examples, I will go ahead and just bring us back once I find a rock we can actually mine. And we're back. I found a good rock. So things we want to note here when we're looking at this rock. Its mass is 3,746 and 43% of this rock is quantainium. Okay? Now, a number to remember is you need 1,600 mass of quantainium to fill your 32 SCU in your ship. And with that, you can figure out how much quantainium is in the rock that you're looking at. So I'm gonna whip out my calculator here. What I'm gonna do 3,746 times 0.43, because all I did was move the decimal point. 0.43, and that tells me that there's roughly 1,600 mass of quantainium in this rock right here in front of it. Now we know that it is a good rock to mine, and it's worth our time. Now what's worth your time is kind of up to you. But if you're not even getting close to, you know, even a half load of quantainium, it's probably worth looking for another rock. The good news is we can also break this rock, because anything over about 5,000 mass, you're going to have issues breaking by yourself, even with fancy mining modules to help you out. It's just a hard time. So now that we understand that, we can see that our optimal window is very small. We can see the instability of the rock is very high. But we're going to get nice and close within our optimal range here. And then we're going to left click to turn on our mining laser. And we're going to start giving it power. And you'll notice our optimal range got a little bit bigger. That's because now our mining head is applying its fancy settings, which is why it makes all of this possible. And probably going to have to give it all the power we got for a minute. And the big thing with quantainium mining is take your time and don't rush it, because this rock will absolutely blow you up. I also personally like to max power to my shields, because then when things do go wrong, I'm less likely to not walk away from it. We just gotta wait for that power to get up closer to optimal, and we'll back it off. Now that we're getting close, I'm going to start backing my power off a little bit. Might have been too much. Let's push it back up there. And all we got to do, just like with the other mining, is fill the bar. We don't want any red in our finished product. So if we're above half, I like to back it all the way off. Nope. Nice and unstable. Come on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off now. That rock might just detonate on us. I've messed it up a little bit. We got to wait for that red to get out of there a little bit. We might be crashing.
Mining mode off. Mining mode on.
I think the server just went. And we're back. So, found a different rock, still on Lyria. This another rock here that wasn't so good. And we're going to go ahead and figure out how much quantainium is in this one, and then we're going to break it. So this one has 3,384 mass. Multiply that by the amount of quantainium, which is 0.38. And it tells me that there is 1,200 mass worth of quantainium in this rock. I know that's not a full load, but that's a load worth taking. So we're in optimal range. So we're going to turn on our mining laser. We're going to turn this dude up. Try to get that charge level going up. And maybe, just maybe, my internet won't go out this time. And it's creeping up. Biggest thing to quantainium mining is by far being patient. And we're touching it, so I'm going to throttle power down. Quantainium is highly unstable, so you really got to stay on top of your power, because it's going to jump up and down. You can see we're barely touching it with power now, and it's kind of staying. Oh, and now it's diving. Give it some more power, and there we go. Now in quantainium mining, you'll notice that we're now broken into multiple pieces. We're going to have to break down the multiple pieces. So a yellow outline means the rock needs to be broke again. Occasionally, you'll get the purple outline right off the bat like we did here, and that rock is ripe for the taking. We don't need to do anything with it. However, you'll notice that that rock does not have any quantainium, that purple shard right there. So we don't even care about that rock. My recommendation, go ahead and scan all of your rocks, see what you got to work with. That one's almost entirely quantainium, we want that one. This one is entirely quantainium. Check this one out. That one, already can tell by the optimal range, there's no quantainium in it. And last but not least, this one probably won't. That one didn't have any quantainium. So the rocks we care about here are that one. I feel like there's another rock hiding in here somewhere, which does happen. See what's in this piece. Oh, there's another pure chunk of quantainium we gotta try to get to. Let's see. Here's where we need to hit it. So, now we gotta break down these smaller chunks. I'm gonna start with this one just because it's on the bottom and it might kind of push everything else out the way. So we're in optimal range. We're gonna turn up some power, and it is not going to take much because you'll notice that rock doesn't weigh a lot. So this will be hard to break just because it's so small. Doing okay. Okay, well that rock is available now, and we can see we got the purple on it, which means we could pick it up. But when mining quantainium, do not pick up a rock until you have everything else broke, because quantainium mining specifically, once you start picking up rocks, there's a 15-minute timer that starts, and you have to store the material in the refinery of your choice before the 15-minute timer ends, or your ship blows up. So we're going to go ahead and get all these rocks broken up, and then we'll worry about picking up. Backed off my power too far. Now it's rising really fast. Doing okay though. Come on. There we go. Definitely more difficult with smaller rocks, because you're playing with such a small power rock. Now we got that one broke. That's purple. That's yellow, but we didn't want that one. I believe, yep, it was this one that we wanted. We're in the optimal range. Now we're going to get it broke. While we're sitting here, you'll notice the instability and the resistance goes down once we start mining. and that's just because of the mining head of choice, this lancet that we're using. It reduces the instability of things, makes our lives a little bit easier. And your optimal window and the resistance goes down even further when you have 2 upgraded prospectors mining 1 item. So team mining is definitely a great way of mining. And we, like I said, we will end up doing a group mining tutorial. So now that we got all of our rocks broke, we definitely want to make sure everything we want is broken up. That's all purple. Great. That big one we don't need to break because it's not important. That one's not important, and that one's not important. And the spot that we're most likely to... oh! Another piece in there somewhere. Luckily, we don't need it. So the part that we need to not forget is this piece right here that's just barely poking out the ground. Now normally, the rocks will not break as clean as they have here. We have a bunch of perfect, everything that's broke we can pick up. But normally what you would need to do is scan each individual purple rock and verify that it's quantainium. For example, you can see instability and resistance before it even tells you it's quantainium. Whereas if we hit this purple rock right here, we know that is the one that we don't want to pick up. Now before you start picking up, you want to go into your map with F2, and you want to set your quantum marker. Because we're going to pick all of this up as quickly as possible and we're going to get out of here. So right click to put it in extraction mode. We're just going to start picking stuff up as quickly as we can. We can see our cargo level on the right side going up, and we can see what we have in our cargo as well. Obviously currently it's all quantainium, but sometimes you'll get a little bit of extra nonsense, which is why we're selective about what we pick up. We want to make sure we're getting as much as possible just pure quantainium, because anything else that you pick up just isn't worth as much. So you always want to do your best to only get the quantainium up. We got a little bit of extra stuff there we didn't really need, but we got it. And you can see the time until critical, the bottom right. We got 14 minutes, but we're doing great. I would say the key to this process is don't freak out. Take your time. Be very methodical in everything that you do. You won't have any issues. I think that is all of our quantainium. Now, because we can, and we have all the extra space, I am going to grab up this other little bit of rock. But normally, you don't want to, but we have the space, so I'm grabbing it. Pennies on the dollar difference in money, but I'm grabbing it. Now that we got everything grabbed up, anytime you look at the sun, you're going to be pointing at arc L1. So we're just going to start flying that way in a nice quick manner. And as soon as our quantum drive gets spooled up, we go. Now you'll notice your timer is not visible in this window. You have to have your mining laser out to have your timer up. But we're still going to land with plenty of time. A quick note, I did not upgrade my quantum drive. And for the purpose of doing this mining, depending on your distance, you might need to. But if you're mining on Lyria, and using Arc 1 as your refinery, you're not going to need to upgrade your quantum drive. It's plenty fast enough. We still got plenty of time, because we took off, I believe, before the 13-minute timer even, or before the timer even got down to 13 minutes. Now we just patiently fly on over to the refinery station. Now we're going to wait for the cooldown so that we can do the next jump straight to the station. Still got plenty of time, we're not even worried. Now we can start flying towards the station. Now, just like flying to any other station, you don't want to come in too fast, and you don't want to point straight at it. So I like to come in around, 300-400-ish, because I have time to stop. You're going to have to call tower and land in a hangar so that we can store this ship before it goes critical. Pull out our mining tool. You can see we still got 10 minutes. We got all the time in the world. Now, as we get to the edges of this platform where these things are sticking out, you'll notice we just entered the armistice zone. Shortly after the armistice zone is when you call for a hangar. Moment now. Might even be close enough. I'm gonna try to call tower. See if it worked.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
And it did. Again, I have a hotkey. You can use any method you like. It don't matter. And our hangar's over here. I'm gonna turn down my throttle limiter because you do not want to bump anything while you have quantainium in your ship. Because if you bump something, you will blow up. There's our hangar opening up. Press N to get our landing gear down before we forget.
Landing gear down.
Start coming in. The station seems to have not fully loaded in for us. I'm going to come in a little higher than normal. So I'm afraid of hitting a invisible box. Nice and easy, bring it in. Again, we still got plenty of time. It is better to take your time than rush this part. Landing gear down, making sure we're on the pad correctly, all of that good stuff, and we're down. Turn off your engines, get out of your seat.
Have a pleasant stay.
Now we just need to make a sprint for the ship terminal. And this door likes to always take its sweet time. This one, we're going to tell it exit. Let our character walk on down. Now we're just mad sprint to the ship terminal. Now, some players will land and then just exit the game because it stores their ship and spawns them back here. I personally don't like doing it because this game isn't perfect, and sometimes instead of storing your ship, it'll lose it. And then you're just without that load of quantainium that you just mined, which isn't a good time. So I always just come over here,
Welcome to the
gonna
aUEC
scroll on
vehicle
down
retrieval
and
system.
store. And now that we have stored our prospector, the 15-minute timer has ended. We are no longer in a rush. We're good. We're chilling. Now what we need to do is we need to go back down to that refinery deck. And we'll come back as soon as we get down there. So we're here at on the refinery deck where the services sign is. Just like before, there's that mining support center, but we're actually going to go upstairs this time to refinement processing. Now in here we have two options.
Hey,
We
back
can
again, I
sell
see.
our raw quantainium just straight up and we're
Finding
done with
everything
it.
all right?
But the price isn't that good. So if we look at it, click on that guy, we can see that our quantainium is only worth about 100,000, and that's honestly trash. We come over here and we refine it, which gives us an extra step. It's going to be a lot better. So we got to set up a work order. We're going to click begin. We're going to come over here. We're going to select our prospector. We're going to say set up work order. Then it tells us how much we got, what materials we have, and we can choose what we want to refine. Now, for me, I'm just going to refine everything because, like I said, I picked up this extra little bit of stuff just because it was there and we weren't full. And once you have whatever you decide you want to refine selected here, you're going to come in here and select your desired refining method. Now, the thing about this, my preferred is the Ferron Exchange, I believe. Oh, you gotta click these, I forgot. Now you're gonna click Get Quote, and it's gonna show you how long it's gonna take. In this case, it's almost 12 hours. It's gonna show us how much it costs to use that method, and we'll see how much resources we get in return. Now, depending on what you select in here, like for example, I think this one is really good. Let's see. That one costs a little bit. Our yields are about the same, but it takes longer. Then there's other methods like whatever that word is. If we quote it, you'll notice we get a lot less material for refining it, but it's really fast. So you kind of got to decide what you want to do here. I always do Ferron Exchange because it's a medium amount of time that it's going to take, and it's not very expensive, but we're not really wasting anything. So once you get set up with what you want, you go ahead and confirm, and then you can see in 11 hours and 36 minutes we can come pick this up. And then, because I'm not gonna have time to do this and throw it in the video, I'm gonna make its own video just because it takes a little bit of time. What you'll do is you'll come over here and you'll select whatever ship that you're going to transport with. So you are going to need a transport ship. I'm probably going to use the Cutlass Black just because I have one already, but you can use any ship that can haul cargo that you own, or you can rent a
back again,
Cutlass
I see.
here.
Welcome.
You can go down to Lorville or Area
See anything
18,
you
wherever, and you can rent larger cargo ships there. You kind of just do what you need to do to move your resources. And it really just depends on how much you got. Like if you spend a day mining and you're having pretty successful, it could be absolutely worth your time to get more or rent a larger carrying vehicle. We're not going to need it for the purpose of this tutorial, I don't believe, but it's fine. So that's running. We're going to exit out, and the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to display group mining, where we have two prospectors, one that is upgraded and probably one that is not. I don't think we're going to upgrade the other one, just so we can see the difference and we can learn how a team can be very effective at mining quantainium. And I'll see you there in just a sec. Alright, and now we're going to do the group mining. So, looking at this rock, we can see that its mass is 8,187, and normally by yourself you would not be able to crack this rock. But my buddy Zeno here, or Ragnathalala, is going to help us break this rock up. I don't remember, do you have an upgraded mining laser, or are you stock?
I don't remember. I think it's stock.
Okay, so he might be stock, and this will just go to show that you can do this with a friend as long as one friend has the upgraded mining laser. And y'all are just gonna watch the magic now. And let's go, Zeno. Wrong laser. That's funny. Alright, I'm gonna power up.
No, we both have the
We both have upgrades.
upgraded head. Yep.
So, for everyone else's knowledge, you'll see how large the optimal range got, and that's only going to happen if everyone has upgraded head. communication is key. So for now on, we're just gonna break this rock. Xeno, I'm at max power.
50. 80.
It'll take a lot for us to get there, and then we'll have to back off a little bit. Basically what we're doing is we're managing our power outputs. One person kind of needs to be steady and the other one can vary, and it'll get more important as we get into the optimal range. We kind of pay attention to ourselves and try not to.
Alright, we need to stop. We need to stop. We need to stop. We need to redo this.
Why?
Just stop real quick. Just stop. Let me go.
Alright, we're back from Xeno's midlife crisis. So back to where we were. I'm at 100% power.
I started recording again. Are we good?
Yeah. Because all I'm going to pull from your video anyways is the mining piece, so everybody can see what we're doing.
I'm at 100.
Okay, and now we wait until we get up into the optimal zone. And then we'll probably do the normal Xeno. You'll probably back off to like 50 and then I'll throttle. Sound good?
Correct.
Alright.
I'm backing off now. 50.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
My joystick drifted.
I seen, I was laughing at you.
I'm at 61. Where are you at?
Still 100.
Alright.
You're not giving it
should
full
be the
power
buffer.
though, so.
Since you're the main video, you should be the buffer. Let me go 100, you go but you do the buffer. Go to 60. I'm going 100.
Okay. We're almost there too, which is good.
Yeah, there you go. You're
Alright.
the buffer now.
And he's just holding power, and I'm going to adjust, and you guys can see what he's doing as we get a little spicy close to a problem there. And we just got to keep it out of the red. But our optimal zone is nice and twice the size it normally would be, which is nice. And that's just because we both have the upgraded Lancet mining heads. And honestly, group mining makes it really easy to break these rocks if you got 2 upgraded prospectors. But it's still easily done with 1 upgraded. And just like before, we broke the rock. And then what we can do to break the rest of the smaller ones is once we scan and decide what rocks we're going to break. That one's not that great. We can put 2 lasers on 1 rock and just have 1 person applying heat. This did not break very clean either.
The one towards me is the fattest piece with the most. That big slab.
Coming around.
The other big slab is 15%.
Hope you're close.
I gotcha. And then
Yeah,
it's
you're talking about the one that's almost
33%
40?
in the ground. Yep. So this big chunk right here,
Yeah, let's
and
do
then
that
the
one.
other is in the ground.
Alright, so in this case he's just going to turn on his mining lasers so that we get the benefits of it, but he's
I'm
not
gonna go to
gonna...
100. You be the buffer.
It's a small rock, you just need to be on, remember?
Yeah. It'll come up quick.
I'm not doing anything.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Oh.
Remember, because it's a smaller rock, you just have to be on.
I know.
Or I can just be on.
Wow.
So now I'm at 0% and it's all you. It don't matter because it's going to be recorded either way. But y'all will notice our optimal window is nice and large, and that's just because we have 2 lasers pointing at it and changing the properties of the rock. notice all of them rocks are purple now, and we can sift through and see what we got to work with. Does not look like it broke very clean, but we can scan all of these as we go and try to pull out the purest quantainium as possible. This wasn't the best rock in the world to begin with, but it was worth mining.
Yeah, 37
rock
on
broke
top, 47, 42 on the third one from the right, from the on the bottom.
Yeah, I'm just scanning.
40
We'll break like another
on the
rock
far
and then
left.
we'll stop recording.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I hit you, my bad.
And when group mining, pay attention to your allies.
Prime example.
It's funny. Alright, let's break the 33% on the bottom.
Let's break the far right first. This one.
Okay.
The
Hit it with the laser so
bottom,
I know
don't
which
think
one.
we're gonna get.
I ain't even that worried about picking it up. This one? Okay.
I think the bottom ones are gonna fall through.
It's possible. I'm not as worried about collecting this anyways. Just wanted good footage.
I'm at 30.
I'm at 0, it's all you. Benefit of you recording is we can see it either way.
Yep. Oh, it went off of it. Shit.
And as we break down this rock, just like before, once you get everything cracked that you want to pick up, scan everything, set your quantum marker, and then start picking up so that you can get back in time
There's a ship above us. Is that
to
you?
avoid the 15-minute timer.
Oh,
I
did you
don't.
crash?
We might have had issues because your ship's sitting on the ground now. And after a couple of rough days trying to record the prospector mining video, this is going to bring us to an end. This is definitely a longer tutorial. I didn't intend for it to be this long, but I felt like in order for you guys to really get the feeling of what is going on, it needed to be long. I will end up doing a shorter video, likely next week, showing how to drop off our refined materials from the refinery to a trade development division, and we're going to look at that coming up in the next week. Other than that, I hope that this was helpful for everyone, actually getting some group mining video and showing how that works and what it looks like. Me and Zeno are actually decently good at working together when it comes to doing the group mining. We've done a lot. It's just been a while for us since we've done it. We've been kind of just exploring around in the game, so that's why we're a little bumpy in that portion of the video. But hopefully this helps everybody out. If you enjoyed the video, definitely leave a comment, definitely like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.